One of the most valuable parts about the United States is that we have access to the Second Amendment, and with it, you have the right to defend your life, your right to property, and your family. Well, here's the deal. In places like California or any of these blue areas with progressive DAs that are effectively Soros-backed district attorneys, well, what do we see? We see that it doesn't matter that if you're someone who's operating lawfully, they're going to treat you as the criminal nonetheless. And we saw this recently happen with a father in California who had two people jump the fence in an attempt to break into their home. So what did he do? He shot at them in an attempt to defend his family, himself, and his property. And what happened? They fled, and after they fled, he was the one who was persecuted under the state's laws. And this is because he lives under that of an anarcho-tyrannical system. And here's the thing, if you live in a place where you cannot defend your life, your family's lives, or your property rights, then you do not actually have freedom. You live under tyranny, and that is exactly what I want to get into. Let's get into the definition of anarcho-tyranny. It is a term coined by the late paleoconservative writer Samuel Francis to describe a state of society where the government fails to enforce the law against criminals while simultaneously restricting the rights of law-abiding citizens. The term has been used to describe a situation where the state is more interested in controlling citizens so they do not oppose the managerial class rather than controlling real criminals. Just a thought, sounds quite fascinating and ever relevant to the nature of what's going on in places like California. Let's go ahead and jump into these articles. From the Post-Millennial, California man stripped of gun permit after defending himself and family from armed robbery in driveway. I used to walk into this house and see the beautiful house that I built for my family, and now I walk into a war zone. A man had his concealed carry permit revoked just days after using the firearm to defend himself and his family from would-be robbers outside of their Los Angeles home in California. Vince Ricci has maintained the decision was made solely because of his use of the gun. However, the sheriff's department claimed it was because of his conduct and words that he shared towards the members of the Los Angeles Police Department who showed up to investigate 3 days after the attempted break-in took place. Well, you took quite a while to get there. I can understand why you would have some expletives to share with you. And also on top of that, let's go ahead and cover something real quick. It's not that you committed a crime or you violated the law. It's that you said words that hurt their fifis, and because of that, the police were like, you know what? We don't think you should actually have your ability to defend yourself or your family or your property. And that, my friend, is living under tyranny, when those who are supposed to protect you are removing your ability to protect yourself. In an interview with Fox News, Ricci explained that he was contacted by the sheriff's office on Thursday morning, informing him that his concealed carry permit had been revoked as a result of him yelling at LAPD officers. The sheriff's office did not elaborate and has since released zero information following. And why is that? Because they don't have to. They don't actually have to answer these things, and they won't, because, as I've already stated, you live under tyranny. The incident in question, which took place on the evening of November 4th as Ricci returned from the gym, when two armed men jumped around the fence and rushed him as he was about to open the front door. Ricci dropped his coffee and pulled out his handgun. The pair retreated as he followed, chasing them off of the property. Footage of the situation shows one of the two men pointing their firearm at Ricci, evidence he said that he acted in self-defense. My situation is unique because it happened at my front door, all on camera, he said. But this happens all the time and time over again all over the country. And what's so interesting about that? He's absolutely right. This happens to so many people where they defend themselves, and with it, they are people who are accused of committing violent action. And the thing that I find so insane about this is we see it always happen in places like California, New York, Oregon, Washington, all these places that are incredibly deep blue districts with progressive DAs that will always let these people off, which has caused the recidivism rate to skyrocket because they won't actually persecute criminals. He said, I used to walk into this house and see beautiful things that I built for my family, and now I walk into a war zone, slamming District Attorney George Gascon for releasing dangerous criminals onto the streets of LA. George Gascon, a Soros-backed district attorney, much like that of Chase Boudin, who was ousted from San Francisco. If you were unaware, now you know. Ricci's case was quickly picked up by the NRA, which defended his use of the gun and decried the fact that he was subsequently stripped of his ability to carry it. His decisive actions to protect his wife and daughter embody the core principles that the NRA members fight for every day. NRA spokesperson Billy McLaughlin said in a statement, it's reprehensible that California is shredding his Second Amendment rights after he defended his family. Governor Newsom and Gascon's pro-criminal policies have transformed Los Angeles and the wider state into what resembles a war zone. The NRA stands with Vince and every responsible gun owner in California, firmly committed to defending their rights to protect their families and communities. Well, here's the deal. I'm going to be honest out there, and this might be like a bat over the head for some of the progressives or left-wingers that are actually watching this, if there are any. There's something you need to realize about the NRA, is that the right hates them just as much as you do. The NRA are the moderates in this situation. I don't believe in any gun laws. But the thing is, the NRA actually supports upholding the existing laws. I don't think you should need a license to carry your firearm anywhere. In fact, that's why we've had the proliferation of constitutional carry across the United States that has now overtaken 27 states. And with it, you can see that the nature of gun proliferation has completely destroyed the Second Amendment argument. Because we're not arguing about this anymore. You're not taking our guns, you're not removing our ability to protect ourselves, our families, or our property. That's that, and if you don't like it, well, you're simply just going to have to fucking cope. Now we move on to another example of this happening. The Western Journal says, in a terrifying moment, NYC bodega worker defends himself in vicious attack, but he's the only one arrested. And well, here's the thing. What this is referencing to is Jose Aldo, which was a bodega owner in New York City who has now actually been freed, and he is back working at his bodega. He's been hailed as a hero by Twitter and so many online. He was a 61-year-old man, and with it, they threw him in jail for defending himself and his property. Much like what happened in California, it's always these places that are these incredibly deeply entrenched blue areas with progressive district attorneys that always have innocent people defending themselves being the villain in the eyes of the law. Now what do we see? New York man got arrested after defending his own home. So clearly, this is something that's happened consistently. This happened in 2019. What we saw here is this happened in 2022. And now we see Manitoba man jailed after judge says justified self-defense went too far, killing home intruder. Isn't that absolutely insane? I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. Thank you for watching if you got this far. The fact is that if you live in these areas where you're under the rule of thumb of progressive district attorneys, you don't actually have the right to defend yourself under the law. And what's so insane about this is the fact that under these standards, like I've already said, you live under anarcho-tyranny, and that's simply that. I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. Thank you for watching if you got this far. I put out a video roughly every single day, so go ahead and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. Tell me where I'm wrong in the comment section down below. Stay lovely, stay great. Tell someone you love them. Peace out.